All right, guys, welcome to the sequel of our first podcast, the Late Night TCG Podcast. Do you suck at Yugioh? All right. So, as you know, if you watch the prequel, my name is Susu.
My name is PAK.
And we have YouTube channels. So, if you're watching this right now, you're watching it on HeadtoHead Battles.
Yep.
So, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit that notification bell to join the notification squad.
And if you haven't already, definitely go check out my channel in the description box below as well. And also hit that notification bell because, you know, we're going to be releasing more of this and we want you guys to be ready. So we're going to see if you guys like stay on your toes. We're going to be testing you guys.
Yeah. So listen, Bobbert, you're subscribing here, you're subscribing there. All right. Anyways, this episode and even the last episode was and is sponsored by TCGplayer.com. So just got throw those out there, you know what I'm saying, for collaboration shit.
And if you guys need any cards at all or any products, definitely go check out TCG Player using our link in the description box below.
Yep.
And, you know, get cards that are normally very hard to find. Like, I don't think any local store would have Smoke Grenade.
Definitely not.
But
definitely not. Definitely.
If you're buying that card, then infernobles best deck. Am I right?
Psych! You got the wrong number. All right. Anyways, guys, so let's recap real quick. So we talked about how we are both new players.
Yes, exactly.
But yet you decided to take the competitive route.
Yep.
And I decided to take the more casual route.
Yeah.
And I mean, our channels do reflect that.
Yeah,
actually. And basically, the last thing we did talk about was kind of how Yu-Gi-Oh, in regards to learning the game, learning to read the cards, and you know how that kind of transitions you into becoming a better player, right?
Right, exactly. And the thing to note about Yu-Gi-Oh is that there's almost an unspoken rule, but there's a lot of them. Like there's a lot of rules you don't know. Do you know there's something called the pebble effect or like the pebble ruling?
The what?
Exactly. That's my thoughts. Apparently, if you guys have been watching my megalith combo video, apparently there is a ruling that if you can fulfill the ritual summon for a card, right, like with just one monster, for example. So if you ritual summon a level 8 and you have a level 8 monster like Blue Eyes, that works. You can actually use a 4 on top of it. And in my head, even if the card says you can ritual summon a ritual monster using levels equal to or greater than. So I was thinking to myself, wait, why can't I just use more? Well, the whole logic is it's the pebble. You like, basically if you can fulfill one criteria, you can't just like add something on top of it if it can be filled by one card. But you can do like a 4 and 7 for a level 8 monster. You just can't do 8 plus 4 if it's an 8. Okay,
that just doesn't even make like remote sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, like the card text can be very deceiving, and that's like the thing that like that's important to know, right? Like as someone who's never played Necros format or like any formats where rituals were, you know, a competitive meta deck, like I would never have known that. But the cool thing is, you know, you learn so much as you start to play, and experience does play a big role for sure. But it's not easy for new players to just like find out about these types of like rulings or like these type of information, right? Because this is not in the rulebook. Like I don't think you can actually find this in the rulebook. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, guys. But for the most part, from what I understand, this is like just an unspoken rule. Like they're kind of calling it like logic, you know, like logically you can't do this. I'm like,
well, I mean, in Yu-Gi-Oh, actually, logic. Great that you brought that up. Logic does play a big role in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But it's in the sense that like logic only applies once you know the rules to its fullest, right? Because like, imagine trying to learn Calc 3 without knowing derivatives.
Exactly. It's like, bro, I just literally jumped into Calc 3. You have not taken any prerequisites.
Zero.
So good luck, bro. Good luck.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I don't know if you know, I actually took Calc 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guys, funny enough, you actually won't believe it, but my education of math is at pre-calc.
Aren't you a finance person?
Hey, yo, you don't actually need to know math to do finance. That's the biggest fallacy about finance. So that's a discussion for another topic.
Another day. Yeah. And so I took up to Calc 3.
Wow.
And my final was 5 questions, and we had 6 hours. I finished 2.5 questions, and I got the highest grade.
Oh my god, that goes to show how crazy the curve is. For those of you who are not in uni right now, if you're watching the video and you're still in high school, typically when like an exam is that hard, they would curve it up, even if people leave 2-3 questions blank. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. But again, topic for a different day.
Yep.
So here's the biggest thing, right? Now, when you're talking about do you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh, there's different levels to Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Of course.
There is the locals level, which is actually the at-home level.
At home, yep.
And then you have the locals level.
Yep.
And then you have regionals, then the YCS, then the nationals, and then the WCQ.
Yeah, like Worlds. Worlds.
Worlds.
Let that sink in. Going to Worlds.
Like, they'll fly you. Wait, do they fly you out?
Oh, they fly you out. Like, hotel.
Oh, really?
Plane. Bro, it's like think of it as an all-expense trip
To wherever.
Except you're going to play Yu-Gi-Oh, a trading card game that you have, love, a passion for, and you're going there for free.
Jeez.
And it's all because you did really well in a tournament. A fat-ass, big-ass tournament. That's the fact, because it's like around
like
13 rounds, bro.
Yeah, it's like 500-600 people.
Yeah.
On average.
Oh, no, bro. 1,500 people.
Wait, at a regionals?
At a Nats.
Oh,
Nats.
Nats.
To
Okay,
qualify
okay.
for Worlds. It's like people come from all over the world. Like, I guess all over the nation, right?
Correct, correct.
It's really get to see like people from Ohio, from like just Toronto, not Toronto. Actually, no, Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's just neat. It's just cool to see so many people in like the same place.
Right. And so here's the thing, right? Like, you can be really good at home.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Which translates. So let's say 90% of that translates into locals, right? And so now you're really good at locals, right? Because the first locals I ever went to, I took a really bad deck, Crusadia Kaiju OTK.
And you won.
And I got second place.
Oh yeah, second place. Okay.
I wasn't able to play the first seed, but he was playing Subterrors.
Oh.
And Leonis pierces.
Yeah.
So technically, in my heart, I got first place, right?
Okay, fair.
And then I went one step above that, because one step above locals is regionals.
Regionals, yeah.
Right? I went 0-4. Like, I wasn't even close to beating anyone.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Granted, one game I lost to time. Okay. And I was siding for Spirals and Altergeist.
Yep.
I played 3 Lunalights and 1 Striker Zephyros.
Oh my Jesus.
So, first of all, my side deck is like literally non-existent, right?
Yep.
And I'm playing like a really low tier Rogue deck.
Right.
Because Rogue has its own tiers as well.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people don't know. But yeah, and then like the wall of skill that goes from locals to regionals, it's huge. It's a gap.
Right. And I think the biggest thing that has to do with that is when you're playing at a locals level, you're comfortable. Like, you're comfortable with the people, the environment. In fact, I hate to say this, but everyone at locals knows what deck you're playing.
Correct.
And then that level of surprise, that level of like, meeting someone for the first time, all that gets, washed away pretty much. But when you show up at a regional, your skills are really put to the test, because you have no idea what this person plays, how they play, right? Because like the style of play matters.
Correct.
There's so much information that you don't have, and also you're uncomfortable. Why? Because you're in another goddamn state, for Christ's sake. Because we both went to Connecticut, right?
Connecticut,
it may not seem like a far place, but it was like at least a 2-3 hour drive. Right?
Correct.
So you get put in uncomfortable positions, and that, I feel like, is the truest test of like how good of a player you are, because you can play really well in comfortable situations, but how well can you perform when pressure prizes are up, on the table?
Yeah, I mean, at the regionals that I went to, I actually slept 0 minutes.
0 minutes?
Like, literally, I did not sleep because so I went out to drink, and then I got back at the hotel at like 2 a.m, and then we're play testing till like 4.
Of course.
And then by the time I got into the hotel bed, it's not my bed, so I'm uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm tossing and turning.
Yeah.
Jen's like, yo, shut the hell up. And by the time the alarm rang, my eyes were already open.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, like that's the coolest part about going and traveling to events, right? Because you get placed in situations where you're really challenged.
Correct.
Both
Correct.
Physical level, a mental level, because of your stamina and your mental well-being.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man.
And those are like the external factors that people always forget when playing trading card games. Like, there's so much like mind games, right? Like that gets played into, like that
Correct.
gets, you know,
Correct.
placed onto the game. And like, I'll give you a good example.
Okay.
I remember at the PPG, I played against an opponent who was actually gonna make me go first because he was playing a go second deck.
Okay.
So here's what I did. I threw my entire side deck into my main deck. So this man had no idea if I actually even sided. And to be quite honest, I knew he was a go second deck. So what did I do? I put 0 cards in.
Yeah, exactly.
I put 0 cards in,
yeah.
but and here's even crazier. I made it look like I was like, what, do I take this out? Like, I guess, like, and yo, bro, this man was like, you go first. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I know. So I was ready. Like, you know what I mean? My main deck was crazy.
Exactly.
For going first. And
Yeah.
it's that type of like, just, you know, like forward thinking that's kind of like makes or break games sometimes because
Correct.
you know, like I said, it's a lot of external factors that, you know, contribute to your overall success, especially with a card game that we're not robots. We're not like, it's not like two, you know, like super chess bots playing against each other. If you haven't seen that, it's, you know, we're humans.
Exactly. And we make mistakes.
We make mistakes.
All
We're
the
prone
time.
to make mistakes, and we get influenced by a lot, right? So
Yeah. Because I remember we were playing locals a couple days ago.
yeah.
And so he's playing a very meta deck
Yeah.
that's actually like kind of unfair in the sense that like he looks at my hand, rips a card,
Yeah.
and by the time his turn ends turn 1, I only have 2, maybe 3 if I'm lucky cards in hand, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I opened the best card in the game.
Right.
Dimension Shifter.
Oh yeah, Shifter made me pass my turn.
Right? And I gave him a kaiju. And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to activate Golden Castle, special summon Trude, special summon my kaiju, use Trude to pop the kaiju on his field. He has an empty board. He doesn't play hand traps. The game is mine.
Yeah, make
But-
Glubion, OTK with Numeron.
Exactly. And then PAK was like, okay, yeah, so you're gonna use Castle to summon Trude and you're gonna pop the kaiju. Okay, so you're gonna pop the kaiju right now, right? You're gonna pop the kaiju. And I'm playing like, I'm like, yo, Trude, if I pop the kaiju, and then as I'm saying it, I'm like, no, but
Right,
I couldn't
because-
stop myself.
Exactly, because it's at that moment in time, it was like I knew he had a second kaiju in his hand because I Aqua Dolphin.
Yeah, he saw my hand. Yeah,
I
he
saw
my
his hand. So because I gained that public knowledge, you know, of what he had, I was like, he has a double kaiju and a Castle of the Stromberg. If he sequenced it where he kaijus me, summons his kaiju, Stromberg summons Trude, pop my card, overlay for Dragulbion, summon
Numeron,
Numeron,
OTK.
attack for 9,000, that's game. So the only way I survived was to
Manipulate me. Let's not sugarcoat this.
no.
No. We don't know. You
put-
manipulated me.
No, it was more of hypnosis. You know what I'm saying?
You betrayed me.
I rolled, you know, I basically put words into your head, and then you executed the action based on what I said. Because I was
Yeah.
like, so that was my only out. And to be honest, it worked. And to be fair, yo, do I feel good doing it?
No, your chat hated you.
Yeah, my chat kind of roasted me for a little bit. They were like, hey, yo, PAK, yo, you
You
scum.
sharking, bro. You
a
sharking.
scum.
Yo,
I'm
that's
like,
scummy, dude.
and I was like, yo, this is the finals of a YCS. YCS side scrollers.
Watch this.
Shout out to Sky Scrollers.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, that's the thing about the game, right? And like you learn the best when you make mistakes and misplays like that. And
That's not a misplay. You made me misplay.
it's a misplay that you misplayed.
No, you know, I think the better lesson here is
Yeah.
to just play your game, right?
Exactly.
Because you may not necessarily be a bad player,
Yep.
but you let other people influence your decision making,
Right.
and you let overthought become
Yes.
forethought. And when
Yep.
overthought becomes forethought, you make poor decisions,
Right.
because at that point you lose sight of your win condition or winning strategy.
So Jesse Cotta and I had a really good conversation in one of my old videos. I totally
Yeah.
forgot, but we'll have that in the description box.
Correct.
Anyways, we had this idea on like, if you're playing against a trap player and he sets 3 back row, those back row could be the most useless spells and traps you have ever existed in the game. I could have set like, oh my god, Upstart Goblin. But that set card has so much impact
Pressure. It's the
and-
pressure.
on the opponent because they're thinking like, this man has Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, and then a manifestation alongside a spoofing. I'm probably screwed. And they start making really awkward plays.
Right.
Like really, they'll go Phoenix, effect pop. Okay, Upstart. All right, cool. Yeah, it's an Upstart Goblin. And they'll just look at you like, like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
And that kind of like, you know, bluffing is such a huge part of the game. And it's funny enough, it reminds me of so much poker, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
it's like, you know, like you're trying to be like, hey, yo, I got the nib in the hand, bro. I got the nib in the hand.
But that's illegal. You can't actually tell your opponent like
Yes.
how many summons.
No, so you can ask how many summons but you can't be like, hey, yo, I got Nib in the hand, because that's like relaying false information.
Correct,
right?
correct.
But yeah, you can be like, yo, how many summons did you make this turn? And to be fair, like that's so obvious, it's most likely a bluff. But then the big brain players be like, they're bluffing that they're bluffing, and they're actually not bluffing.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, I'm someone who thinks like a lot. So I'm just like, oh my god, he has it. And I'm just like, oh god damn, I played around it for no reason.
Right, right.
So
I mean, but granted, with the decks you play, it doesn't matter because you'll have the same amount of negates because you're a degen.
Hey, well, you know, if your deck can't play through Nib in 2020, bro. Well, you know what I mean?
The trick is that you only need 4 summons to OTK.
That's
the trick.
That's true.
That's
too.
the trick.
That's true too.
Nib me now, brother.
Nib me now. And that's the coolest part about Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest, right? Like
No,
if
really,
you were to
it
play
really is.
Pokemon or Magic, like I feel like a lot of the information is kind of in front of you. Like you kind of see for the most part how much mana he has. So like you have a very good guess of like, okay, so what are the 3 mana cards that he can like potentially play?
Correct.
Right? It's like, okay, well, he can do this, he can do this. Okay, so we can sort of play around it. In Yu-Gi-Oh, God knows what he has in his hand.
Correct.
God
it could be anything.
knows.
Like
And
the spiciest tech,
The
right?
spiciest tech,
Holy.
bro. XYZ Encore on my freaking Numeron Zexal play. I was like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? Forbidden Chalice out of nowhere.
Yep.
You know, like Droplet in the freaking main deck.
Yep.
Like, I'm just like, you play this card? And they're like, yeah, you don't? I'm like,
I thought, oh yeah,
No,
no,
no.
I mean, I guess not.
but man, that's the beauty of it. It's like, you know, it's just so cool because a lot of players like, you know, overthink it, and other
do.
people
Yeah, they
just
really
don't think, and then they never get punished, which is kind of crazy. But trust. I think,
Bro, you
sometimes.
you never get punished, bro.
But yeah, man, and that's what I like about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
Like, what is your favorite part of Yu-Gi-Oh? Susu?
To be fair, like my favorite thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, and this actually ties in really well with on the topic on hand, is that
Yep.
there are a lot of techs, right?
Yeah.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, if you tech in something bad,
Yeah.
right, does that make you a bad player?
Ah,
Because
true.
here's the thing, right? Like in my Granmachu deck, I
Yeah.
use a card called H Heated Heart.
If you guys don't know what that is, we're gonna have that pulled up here.
Yeah, we'll
and
have it
then
right here, yeah.
I'm probably gonna smack it away because that card is terrible in my
No,
opinion.
it's good. Yo, you know why? Because here's my thought, right?
Okay.
So H Heated Heart allows you to gain 500 attack
Of course.
and deal piercing damage.
Yeah, of course.
What card do players play around?
Well, if I know I'm playing against like a deck like
Going
Granmachu,
second deck.
right? Like I would like set my monsters and play very defensively. Of
right?
course, yeah.
So players play around Lightning Storm.
Yeah. Also, Lightning Storm, true.
So in a sense, as an OTK deck, I can't OTK if your monsters are in defense position.
Yeah, true.
So instead of wasting an extra deck slot on Pentastag,
Yeah.
because you need resources going to Pentastag, correct?
Right.
But Heated Heart, it's just a spell card that you
Yeah.
can use, target Granmaju.
Yeah.
Oh, you gambled me before, and now you have a driver with 0 defense?
Oh.
Nim. Let me H Heated Heart you on stream, live,
In front of 100
in
players.
front of like, well, collectively like 170 people, you know what I'm saying?
God, yeah.
And yo, my chat was going a million miles an hour. It was
Right,
like, yo,
yeah.
people, do.
It's because like, you know, sometimes those checks really pay off, and
Right.
you just feel like really good because it's like, you know, like I figured out something spicy, literally the heat.
The literal heat.
The literal heat.
Yeah.
And you know, I got rewarded for that, and that's the coolest thing. Like you can like find so many texts, and one of the coolest things that I enjoy doing is going on the dual book database and just reading Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because I feel
Seriously,
like
yeah.
there's just, especially as newer players, like Heated Heart may be a card that's so familiar for everyone, you know, in the past.
Correct.
But for us, we're like, yo, what the heck is Heated Heart?
I didn't even know it existed.
Exactly, and it's like that. The fact that we're able to like find and read these old cards, we're like, yo, Konami printed this. They printed this, and like no one's using it. Oh God, yes, we're gonna put that in. And
they did it for me, man.
yeah,
for me.
exactly.
You know?
And man, it's just like basically like in a way we're almost reliving Yu-Gi-Oh too, because these cards were what printed 2015,
Yeah,
2014,
old school, man.
and
Old school.
it's looking into the past, right? Reliving the nostalgic days, even though we may not be playing at that moment in time.
Correct.
It's like we get a piece of history. So
Wow.
we do.
Wow, that's actually.
We do.
Yeah, you know, every time every time you do look at like a Dark Magician, like an LOB,
Yeah.
First Ed,
Oh my
that's
God.
the literal history.
It is.
And that's why there is such a hefty price tag along with that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you don't need a LOB first that Dark Magician or Blue Eyes. Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's another video.
That's another video. That's another video. But, just playing expensive card, doesn't matter.
It really doesn't, man. It honestly really doesn't.
If you attack your opponent with DDS Blue Eyes, I would say that's an auto win right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a video for another topic.
Yeah, it's called PAK has a spending problem. But we don't out the boys like that,
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so again, because in Yu-Gi-Oh there are so many techs, right? Yeah. Generally, you can't even call a tech bad,
right?
It's just a tech, right? Because no matter how bad it may be, like in infernobles, like
right.
you will never use heated heart.
Oh no!
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you going first is a brick in the hand.
Right.
For me as a blind going second deck,
yep.
Heated heart is a godsend.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
So like the idea is that it could be bad in the general sense of it's not a
yeah.
good card,
yeah.
but it has its situations in which is really good, and the reason why we're playing that card is because it's good in those situations, and we expect those situations to come up.
Exactly. Not all the time, and that's why
right.
cards are situational. Even Nibiru, Dark Ruler,
right.
D-Shifter, they're all situational.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think back to that first PPG I went to, right?
Yeah,
like a lot of people know me for that, that first premiere event, and also my first win. It was like, yo, what the heck? Who is this kid? And well, for me, I know it was nuts because I actually played Attack. It was Crackdown.
Yeah, Crackdown.
It was Crackdown,
yeah.
and it was a card that everyone was looking at me like, you crazy. You crazy. And I was like, am I? Am I? Because I'm like, this card kind of nuts.
I know it is.
And
really good.
I really thought about it. I'm like, yo, this might be the card that wins me, steals me games, right? And it was a card that it was so underlooked. But I remember at the end of the tournament, someone came to me, he's like, can you please sign my Crackdown? It was at that moment in time where I had a humbling moment where I was like, wow, techs do matter, card choices do matter, and even if people say, your deck sucks or etc., there's gonna be times where it's really, really good, and don't let people's words discourage you, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Play the deck you want, play the text you want, and and you test for yourself it's good or not. You make that determination. And when you listen to people, don't just take it for granted. Kind of be like, hear what they have to say, and if it's good, you take it. If it's not, applicable, just ignore it.
Correct.
And I think that's what's neat.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot to offer, but at the end of the day, it's cardboard. Cardboard doesn't play for you.
Right.
You as the player play.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, no matter how good you are or how casual you are,
right.
you play for fun. And you build relationships that way.
Right.
And you can't play a card game without building relationships.
Right. Because at the end of the day, this is a relationship trading card game, if that's a way to put it, because when you're not playing by yourself, you know what I mean? You're not playing by yourself. There's someone gonna be on the other side of the table, and you could be one of those players that can be like, so I'm just gonna play my card. Can we not talk? I've seen that.
Really?
No, so I've played players at competitive levels that are just like, I'm not, to be honest, bro, I'm not trying to get to know you or anything. I'm just trying to play the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's not like I was like, okay, fair. I mean, I gotta whoop your ass now then. All right? I gotta let me just
whoop that ass.
And to be fair, it's like, yeah, that's true, but I felt like I've met so many cool people in the community that I wouldn't have met otherwise, just by saying hello, by getting to know them, and duels connect people.
Yeah.
Duels really connect people, because at a fundamental level, you're sharing your passion, your energy, and if you're and that level of I guess intimacy, right? Is
camaraderie.
Camaraderie. Yeah, exactly. We at the end of the day, we both share love for the game. And
that's all that matters.
What we're trying to say is, when you show up to a regional, do it with a smile on your face. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Say hello to the person in front of you, and just be like, yo, how are you doing, man? Besides this game, yo, how are you doing?
Exactly. How was your day?
How's your day? Yeah.
And when people say do you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh, you can look at it two different ways. All right. One, it's a card game. Yeah. Are you technically and mechanically skilled to play the game? Okay.
Right.
And secondly is just, do you suck in general? Are you just a sucky person?
Right.
Don't be that guy, because in that sense, you're in a Yu-Gi-Oh, the scene is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And if you suck, then yeah, you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right,
I'm sorry.
right.
That's just how it is. Like nobody. Okay. So granted, at least in my position,
Right.
like even at locals or regionals,
Yeah.
like no one talks crap
Yeah,
me
yeah,
to my
of course,
face.
Of course, of course.
Because I'm like 6'2" and
6'2", 250 pounds, I don't know, 28-inch arms. I mean, holy.
yeah. So like I never run into that problem because
Right.
everyone's very friendly.
Yes,
But
yes,
I
yes.
chalk it up to because I'm being friendly.
Yeah.
And I'm not just like,
Right, like
you know what I'm saying?
like our auras and like the energy we emit to like people, like it puts off either a bad taste in people's mouth or it puts a smile on their face.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's so key because like I said before, we entered the game for multiple reasons,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we're entering this game because it's a way we can sneak off from our day-to-day life
Oof.
and just relive the good old days. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of toxic right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting hand loop for 4, and then I'm also putting in 7 negates to your Macerator boards.
So you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh.
I,
Essentially speaking,
I,
by definition.
I mean, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah, I can't deny it. And to be honest, like, honestly, guys, like, if you do feel like you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh and you're not like that great of a player,
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself, do you even want to be a good player? Are you playing just to play, right? Like, because I think there's a lot of pressure in the community to, like, someone would always ask you, yo, how many tops you got, bro? How many tops you got?
True.
How many tops? Oh, yeah, we got one? You can't talk, bro. You can't talk. And that's, like, kind of, like, the problem, not the problem with the community, but it's kind of, like, the wrong mindset that we're kind of, like, telling people, right?
Correct,
That,
correct.
You don't have to feel like you need to be a competitive player to get your voice heard in the community. You can still be a casual player and I guess just enjoy the game.
Yeah, and like our channels like speak on that, right? Because like
Right.
your channel is strictly competitive Yu-Gi-Oh,
Right.
and my channel is strictly casual Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
Yet like our audiences are captivated by both, So
Right.
in a sense, it's just people's overall love for the game. And like as I mentioned before, and this is something like literally the biggest takeaway that we can take is like,
Yep.
do you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh or do you just suck? Like as
Yeah.
a person. And
As a person, yeah.
and whenever you are competing with somebody, there's always some level of competition, right?
Yes, of course.
But at the same time, you can't let that competition drive you to be toxic.
Yeah.
'Cause at the end of the day, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose.
Right.
Like, let's do both gracefully.
Yeah, and like, how many times is like after you lose the game, you tell your opponent, wow, you made a really good play. You're
Yeah,
like, GG.
yeah, seriously.
Like, good game.
Yeah.
Right? And those two words are so important. And
Yeah.
people sometimes don't say enough, or when they do say, they don't mean it.
Yeah.
And that is like, the part where like you're like, yo, like I remember when I played against like, Hani Jawari, or like I played against Cody, like
Yeah.
watching the way they play and maneuver their deck, I'm just like, I was impressed. I was like, this is a way to play the deck that I never thought of.
Correct.
Your sequencing, like the way you maneuvered about like the plays was impressive. It was beautiful, and I learned from it. And even though I lost, I felt like I won.
Wow.
That was like,
That was deep. Like that's almost like the end of the video.
oh my god, are you ending the video right now?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that was deep, bro. Holy.
Holy.
All right, anyway, so we are reaching that 27, 28, 30-minute mark, and
Yeah.
we promised ourselves not to go over the 30-minute mark. So,
Yeah.
guys, if you enjoyed this very first episode, make sure you comment down below what you enjoyed about it,
Right.
and, just what we can improve, what we
Right.
can do worse. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess kind of like, we want to improve our production. We want to
Yeah.
improve the quality of the content that we're providing. Because like I said, we made it a mission, like this goal of ours, to really revolutionize the TCG space from a production level, from a community level.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
we can't do it without your feedback and your input. Like,
Correct,
we want to
correct.
hear what you have to say.
Yep.
And, like, please keep in mind, like, your voices are being heard. Like, we will
Really?
implement what you have to say.
Correct.
And I hope you guys take that to heart, because we're not asking you just to comment. No, like,
Right,
we'll
right.
read them, we'll respond to them, and we want to say thank you for taking the time to like really do that.
Yeah.
Because that's how we improve, right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
as always, one thing to note before we end, we actually have a giveaway for the best comment in the comment section.
Ooh-wee.
So,
So here's the giveaway. If either of our videos
yep.
get 500 likes, right? But actually, no, if both of our videos get 500 likes, we're going to pick one comment, the best comment in the comment section, either or.
Yep,
right?
either or.
And we're going to be giving away a booster box of the most recent set. So at least by the time this video goes up, it'll probably be the megatins.
Yep.
Holy.
Hey, man, if you pulled your goons, I'll put my P.O. box in the description box.
Thank us later. Thank us later.
I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. So as you guys know, you guys, if you guys do want to give away, everything is free of cost. We cover shipping. We cover the product, everything. So don't worry about that.
Yep.
If you do win, hop into either one of our Discords. Again, everything will be linked in the description box down below. And just message us, and we'll get in touch, and we'll have everything out.
Yeah. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for attending Late Night TCG.
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoyed our first episode. And, as always, stay humble.
Seriously, stay humble. Like, for real. I'm humbled by this gentleman every moment of the day.
Yeah. And I'm humbled by, all the support and, all the love that we've been getting for both our channels.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, guys, we can't do this without you, and we want to say thank you.
Yep.
As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and turn that notification bell on, because we'll be watching.
I am watching. I'm literally watching it right now. Don't ask me how, but I'm doing it, all right?
Right.
So let's not drag this on any longer. This is Susu from Head to Head Battles.
This is PAK.
From PAK.
From PAK.
Signing out.
Peace.